Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts delivers a historic rebuke to Trump over the deportation of monster migrants. In a scene that felt straight out of a high-stakes drama, Chief Justice John Roberts struck back at Donald Trump with a forceful warning. The head of the nation's highest court made it clear that his decades-old traditions and rules still matter, cutting through the clamor with words that echoed like a shockwave. The tension in the air was almost palpable. One could almost hear the collective gasp of a nation on the edge. What twist lies ahead in this unfolding saga? The clash ignited right after Trump demanded the impeachment of a judge. This very judge had dared to block his plan to send people, whom Trump described as part of a violent Venezuelan gang, to El Salvador. The bold move set off a flurry of heated debates, blending legal procedure with political theater. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation, as if the very future of proper process was hanging in the balance. How far would this conflict go? On his social media stage, Trump unleashed a torrent of harsh words. He labeled the federal district judge a radical left lunatic in a barrage that spread like wildfire across the internet. The online arena was filled with shocked reactions and intense discussions, as his insults rattled screens and stirred deep emotions. Could anyone have expected such a fierce outburst from the leader of the free world? In an unprecedented move, Roberts stepped in to set things straight. With a calm yet firm tone, he delivered a public counterpunch that left little room for misunderstanding. It was as if the guardian of judicial integrity had donned a suit of armor, ready to protect the sanctity of the law at all costs. The audience was left wondering if this marked a turning point in the ongoing battle between respect for tradition and the impulse for spectacle. Roberts' measured words resonated with centuries of legal wisdom. For over 200 years, we've known that impeachment isn't the right way to settle disagreements over a judge's ruling. We have a proper appeals process for that, he declared. These simple, yet powerful, remarks reinforced a long-standing tradition that has weathered many storms. His statement left the courtroom of public opinion in suspense. What new chapters would this storied history write next? In essence, Roberts was urging that if Trump's team had a problem with a judge's decision, the proper course was to take it up in court, not to launch a public attack on a Senate-confirmed judge. It was a call for following the rules and respecting due process over personal insults and political theater. Even as voices clashed in the background, the message was clear: the law must be the guide, not raw emotion. Can politics ever truly rise above such theatrics? Adding to the complexity, any final appeal in the matter would land on the very bench that Roberts leads, a court where conservatives, holding a 6-3 majority, have supported Trump in the past. This fact painted a picture of an institution caught between its own internal dynamics and the pressures of modern politics. The scene was set for a showdown that had everyone asking, how deep does this divide really run? Roberts' rare public outburst came just as some liberal legal experts warned of a looming constitutional crisis. They argued that a rush of court orders might soon put a brake on the kind of unchecked authority that Trump claims belongs solely to him. It was as if a ticking time bomb had been set, where centuries-old limits were about to clash with modern ambitions. Is the nation standing at the brink of a legal precipice? Even though Roberts' language was formal and steeped in legal tradition, and he cleverly avoided naming Trump directly, his remarks followed mere hours after Trump had launched his own fiery attack. The president had recently blasted a judge as a radical left lunatic after that judge temporarily stopped the deportation of people accused of gang links, who the White House had called heinous monsters. The timing was uncanny, as if two opposing forces had collided in a dramatic, almost scripted, confrontation. What will be the fallout from this clash of words? The decision that stirred up so much heat came from federal judge James Boasberg. In a tense hearing, Boasberg demanded that the government clearly state when his deportation orders were supposed to start. This came after the administration claimed that deportation flights had already taken off, soaring over international waters even as the order was new. The heated debate in that courtroom was like a spark ready to ignite a larger fire. Could this be the beginning of more turbulent times in the legal skies? On Tuesday morning, Trump took to his social media page with a blistering post. In it, he fired off accusations against the judge, calling him a radical left lunatic and a troublemaker appointed during Obama's time. Trump boasted about his electoral victories, arguing that even though he didn't win in every swing state or county by the numbers, he had still secured a historic mandate. He claimed that fighting illegal immigration was perhaps the top reason for his win, insisting he was only doing what voters wanted. With fierce words and raw emotion, he demanded that this judge, along with many others he deemed crooked, be impeached. His passionate tirade left many wondering, could such fiery rhetoric fuel even more chaos? Following Roberts' unexpected statement, Trump appeared on a televised interview with a well-known news show. When asked about the Chief Justice's words, he brushed off the issue quickly, noting, "He didn't mention my name in that statement. I just saw it quickly, no name was dropped." His brief response, delivered with a hint of nonchalance, left the audience questioning whether he was downplaying a significant moment or simply deflecting further attention. Was this just a sidestep or a deeper strategic move? The 78-year-old commander-in-chief also argued that many had already called for the impeachment of the judge, even though he admitted he didn't actually know who the judge was. "He's radical left," he added, blending a mix of age-old grievances with a modern sense of urgency. His words combined a personal touch with a broader political message, leaving his supporters both amused and enraged. What more might be coming from this fiery rhetoric? Not to be left out of the fray, tech billionaire Elon Musk has also joined the chorus, urging the impeachment of judges who have ruled against Trump on federal worker firings. Musk's involvement, coming from a world far removed from the courtroom, sent ripples through both political and tech circles alike. His unexpected push for action raised eyebrows and questions alike. Could the meeting of these powerful forces change the course of justice? Then, on a significant Friday, Trump delivered an unusual speech at the Justice Department. In this address, he showered praise on Judge Aileen Cannon, who had ruled in his favor in a high-profile classified documents case. That appeal was later withdrawn after his November election win, and his praise seemed to signal a personal triumph. The mood in the room was charged, as if a personal victory was about to be celebrated on a grand stage. What dramatic revelation might this speech lead to next? Speaking of Cannon, Trump didn't hold back as he declared, "I did appoint her as a federal judge, and these fake lawyers, these horrible people, were attacking her so hard." His tone mixed pride with anger, a combination that resonated deeply with his base. His words were simple yet loaded, evoking a sense of loyalty and defiance. Could this unwavering support tilt the scales in future battles? It's important to remember that every federal district court judge must be confirmed by the Senate before taking their seat. This requirement stands as a cornerstone of the system, a simple fact that continues to spark debates on fairness and accountability. Such a rule reminds everyone that the law has its own way of keeping power in check. What does this mean for future disputes? Just last week, a federal judge in California ruled that the government had to rehire thousands of fired probationary employees. The decision sent shockwaves, stirring debates over employment fairness and the limits of administrative power. The ruling raised questions about how long such disputes would continue to divide opinions. Could this be the start of sweeping changes in employment practices? Similarly, in Maryland, U.S. District Judge James Bradar, an Obama nominee, declared that firing probationary workers was illegal. This ruling added another twist to the ongoing legal battle, highlighting the fragile balance between government actions and judicial checks. The decision left many wondering if this might mark a turning point in how such cases are handled in the future. House Republicans, meanwhile, have embraced Musk's call to impeach judges who ruled against Trump. Their support for this radical move has stirred up the halls of power, blending political ambition with legal controversy. The question remains, is this push for impeachment just the beginning of a broader movement? Representative Brandon Gill from Texas made his stance known by announcing plans to file articles of impeachment against what he called an activist judge, James Boasberg, within the week. His bold declaration added even more fuel to an already blazing fire of controversy. With such dramatic moves being promised, what dramatic turn might this political battle take next? Elon Musk summed up his position in a single, stark word on his online platform, necessary. That one word carried a weight of conviction that resonated far beyond its brevity, prompting his followers to mull over its serious implications. Can one word truly signal the start of a major upheaval? Not everyone, however, agreed with this fervor. A well-known conservative editorial board in New York shot back, saying Musk was way out of his lane. Their sharp critique added another layer of complexity to the debate, showing that even within supportive circles, there were limits to what was acceptable. Who will ultimately steer this turbulent ship of opinions? The firestorm truly began when Judge Boasberg issued a temporary ruling that stopped the deportations of more than 200 people. This came after the administration invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a law that suddenly felt both old and shockingly relevant. The decision set off a storm of fury and debate, leaving everyone to wonder, can an old law still control modern actions? On Monday, the White House explained that those deported to El Salvador were members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, yet it kept the names of those now held in El Salvador under wraps. This mix of disclosure and secrecy only deepened the mystery, prompting many to ask, what else is being left unsaid? White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt later shared that the U.S. paid $6 million to secure their entry into the country. This financial detail added another twist to the unfolding drama, stirring questions about the true cost of such political moves. How will this money be remembered in the story of these events? Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller did not hesitate to launch a strong rebuke of the judge during a Monday briefing. He labeled the judge's order as illegal, and his fierce words rang out like a challenge from the corridors of power. His remarks left listeners on edge, wondering if this confrontation might spiral even further. Miller went on to claim that it was simply absurd for a single district court judge to act like the president by directing the movement of airplanes across the globe. It's the most outrageous thing I've seen, not just in my lifetime but over many lifetimes, he declared, his tone leaving no doubt about his outrage. Could this be an overreach that changes everything? Not long ago, the American Bar Association issued a stern warning against any efforts to bully our country's judges, courts, or legal community. They stated clearly that intimidation cannot be sanctioned or normalized, a message meant to protect the integrity of the legal system. Will these voices of reason be enough to stand up against rising pressures? The ABA also made it clear that it would not remain silent while the legal profession was twisted into rewarding those who agree with the government and punishing those who do not. Their powerful words served as a rallying cry, urging everyone to defend a fair and balanced system. Could this be the start of a renewed commitment to justice? Throughout his campaign, Trump had repeatedly lashed out at judges who ruled against him in his 4 criminal trials, his anger echoing in every public forum. His relentless attacks painted a picture of a leader unwilling to accept any setback from the bench. Was this just another round in an ongoing battle, or did it signal something deeper? Then, in February and March, Musk took to his online platform, targeting judges who had ruled unfavorably against the administration. His pointed criticisms flooded the digital world, each post adding to the growing storm of controversy. Could his online tirade shift the winds of justice in unexpected ways? On February 11th, Musk boldly warned, "We are witnessing an attempted coup of American democracy by radical left activists posing as judges." His dramatic words sent shockwaves, igniting fierce debates across the nation. What might be the real impact of such a bold accusation? Musk pressed on, insisting that there should be real consequences, more than just nothing, for judges who make what he sees as terrible decisions. His call for accountability was as simple as it was forceful, leaving his audience to wonder, how far would this demand for justice go? Then, on February 25th, he took it a step further by posting, "When judges egregiously undermine the democratic will of the people, they must be fired or democracy dies." The stark warning left no room for doubt about his intentions, sparking both support and fierce opposition. Was this a rallying cry for change or a recipe for chaos? It's important to note that the process of impeaching an Article 3 federal judge is no easy task. Removal can only happen with a House vote for impeachment followed by a 2/3 Senate majority, a high bar meant to safeguard judicial independence. Could such a rigorous standard be met in these turbulent times? Adding another twist, Republican Representative Andy Ogles introduced a resolution in February to impeach Judge John Bates after he ordered federal health agencies to restore online data amid what was seen as a crackdown on gender ideology. His move added yet another layer to the ongoing drama, leaving many to wonder what the next step might be. Ogles, who did not mince words when he attacked predators like Judge Bates, a figure appointed by George W. Bush, showed no sign of backing down despite Roberts' cautionary remarks. His defiant tone only stoked the flames of controversy further. Will this bold defiance lead to more dramatic actions? In a final, pointed message, Ogles wrote, "Respectfully, Mr. Chief Justice, both James Madison and Thomas Jefferson disagree with you. So does the Constitution. We are going to keep the impeachments coming." His words, brimming with challenge and conviction, left an echo that continues to reverberate through the halls of power. How will this storm of challenges ultimately settle?